What's happening, guys? Sam Adams here, and welcome back to another episode of The Drop. Now, this is a weekly video series where I let you guys know what games are coming out across every console out there right now, and this week is a very hectic week because we have a wide variety of games, from Devil May Cry 5 to RBI Baseball 19 and everything in between. Let's go ahead and dive into it. To kick things off this week, we have our headliner Devil May Cry 5 coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC. The Devil You Know returns in this brand new entry in the over-the-top action series. Prepare to get downright demonic with the signature blend of high-octane stylized action and otherworldly and original characters the series is known for. The core team have returned to create the most insane, technically advanced, and utterly unmissable action experience of this generation. The threat of demonic power has returned to menace the world once again in Devil May Cry 5. The invasion begins when the seeds of a demon tree take root in Redgrave City. As this hellish incursion starts to take over the city, a young demon hunter Nero arrives with his partner Nico in their Devil May Cry motorhome. It's like Breaking Bad, but with demons. Not really, but yeah. Finding himself without the use of his right arm, Nero enlists Nico, a self-professed weapons artist, to design a variety of unique mechanical Devil Breaker arms to give him extra powers to take on evil demons such as the blood-sucking flying Impusa and giant colossus enemy Goliath. When many people, including myself, think about the action genre in gaming, I think about Devil May Cry as a franchise because it has always been so over-the-top and so insane, and also such a good time. Now, Devil May Cry 5 is building on that foundation, but of course incorporating in some new mechanics with the Devil Breaker arm, because that is definitely something that is going to shake up that traditional gameplay. Now, of course, you can check out some more gameplay for yourself, see if it might be something you might be interested in, but for fans of Devil May Cry and for fans of action games, you might want to check out Devil May Cry 5 this week when it launches on PS4, Xbox One, and the PC. Next up, we've got Left Alive coming out on the PS4 and the PC. Left Alive tells a human story of survival from the perspective of three different protagonists during the devastating invasion set in war-torn Novoslava in 2127. Experience the massive power gap between man and machine in pulse-pounding encounters. Face off against powerfully armed troops, armored vehicles, and towering mechs. Choose your playing style, engage in frantic gun battles, or dispatch your enemies with stealth and wit. Set traps, collect and craft consumables to survive while exploring a devastated city ravaged by the atrocities of war. Uncover the full story behind the war through the eyes of three different characters. As you progress through the game, experience multiple story paths, each requiring bold decisions with desperate consequences. When it comes to Left Alive, there's a plentiful amount of potential here because of who is working on the game. You have representatives from Metal Gear, you have people from Armored Core, you have people from Xenoblade Chronicles. There is a lot of talent behind this game. With that being said, early reports are saying that Square Enix is restricting streaming and videos of the game because of the negative impressions that it is giving off, so I'm not saying that's enough to turn you off completely from the game. I'm just letting you know that that's something that's happening, and you should probably keep that in mind. But with that being said, what can we say about this game? In a sense, you're pretty much playing Metal Gear Russia. That's pretty much what it looks like to me, that's what it sounds like to me, but of course there are a couple of new mechanics that are mixed in there, like the mechs, like the different kinds of enemies, but that is the kind of gameplay experience you will likely be getting. You can go above and beyond and blow everything up, or you can be stealthy and take out your enemies one by one. Now, as a full $60 game, should you buy this one on day one? More than likely, I would say no. With that being said though, keep it in mind as the summer months come and this game inevitably does get a price drop, because then it might be worth around 20 or 30 bucks to dive in and give it a shot. But until then, if you did want to pick it up now, the game is coming out this week on the PS4 and the PC. Next up, we have The Occupation coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC. It's 1987 in Northwest England, a time of 80s British pop, grand architecture, and political unrest. An explosion has triggered a controversial act which threatens to erode civil liberties of the population to be rushed into place. You are tasked with investigating and questioning people on their actions from a tumultuous night which resulted in the loss of many lives. Each person has a different account of the night's event, and you must use the tools at your disposal to get the results you need for your investigation. This game is incredibly intriguing to me because essentially you are an investigator, a journalist if you will, that is trying to figure out what is actually happening behind this giant explosion that is pretty much eroding the civil liberties, as the description says, of the people of England. Now, with that being said, what does this game bring to the table? Of course, this is something something we've seen before. Essentially, 1 hour in the game is 1 hour in the real world, and so it all kind of moves at the same pace, and you genuinely feel like you are investigating this giant potential government conspiracy. Without a doubt, this game is not going to be for everybody, but for those that really do like an in-depth story for you to get lost in, this is going to be one that probably tickles your fancy, and hey, it's only 30 bucks. So if you did want to dive in and check out The Occupation, it's coming out this week on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC. Next up, we have Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn coming out on the Nintendo 3DS. One ticked-off sorcerer just banished Kirby, warping the poor puffball into a yarn world in need of saving. The twist, having a yarn body, is pretty epic. Kirby can transform into knitted wonders like tanks and flying saucers, plus his new Ravel abilities mimic his classic copy abilities, adding something new to every stage to this action-adventure game. Ravel abilities allow Kirby to drop buttons like bombs or wield a wire-like sword, and that's just the beginning of this makeshift magic. Dead end, unzip a secret passage. Too dark, unbutton the night to shed some light. Boss blocking your way, unravel its face. As you play, you'll collect decorative treasures for Kirby's pad. Show yours off with the Street Pass feature. If story mode isn't tough enough, see if you can earn more collectibles in Devilish mode. In this harder mode, you must survive without invincibility as devils obstruct your path through each stage. There are also new minigames starring Meta Knight and King Dedede. Now you might be saying, Sam, Kirby's Epic Yarn, that sounds familiar. Yes, this game was actually released on the Wii. Now the difference between that version and this version is that this version includes every level from the Wii on top of some brand new content, so it is fresh for those that played the original, but it's also a fantastic experience for those that have never dove in before. Diving in? Dove in? You know what I mean. So if you did want to check out Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn, it's coming out this week on the Nintendo 3DS. To round out this week's main game lineup, we have RBI Baseball 19 coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC. RBI Baseball 19 takes the field with new additions and improvements across all aspects of the game. Arcade baseball action to the core meets incredible depth, from franchise mode, where you can develop and manage your dream team across multiple seasons, to heightened authenticity for a genuine MLB experience. Hundreds of new animations, updated player models, every official 2019 uniform for every team, more player gear, improved ball physics, and amplified environments will make it feel like the real deal. There's nothing better than some improved ball physics. Of course, RBI Baseball 19 has been a game that has been rising in popularity over the past few years. Of course, don't go in expecting something of the same quality as MLB The Show 19. However, if you were looking for a game on the Xbox One or the Nintendo Switch specifically that would tickle your baseball needs, then RBI Baseball 19 very well could be it. So check out some gameplay, see if it's something you might be interested in, but for those that are interested, it is launching this week on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch. And to round out today's show, we do have a couple of honorable mentions. First off, Path of Exile Synthesis is coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, and the PC. This, of course, is a brand new expansion for Path of Exile. Puyo Puyo Tetris is coming out on the PlayStation 4, and finally, Beat Cop is launching on the Xbox One, the PS4, and the Nintendo Switch. So that wraps it up for this week's episode of The Drop. If you did enjoy this one, be sure to drop me a like down below. And of course, in the comments section, let me know what games you guys are picking up this week, if anything did tickle your fancy. But this is just one of many videos I upload throughout the week, so be sure to subscribe if you are new and come check out the new content on top of the Daily Gaming News podcast. But without further ado, you guys have a fantastic rest of the week. I'll talk to you soon, and peace.